Spoilers of One Piece 1128 have just came out, and it's pretty mid. Chapter title is RPG, and the color spread is a very good cover. It's a Straw Hat crew at a barbecue and a dragon atop a volcano. The wizard Straw Hat crew flying with a black cat, kind of like Quidditch in Harry Potter, if you know what I'm saying. The final version this week color spread is Straw Hat crew wearing wizard costumes, like Hogwarts uniforms, are riding brooms in the sky together with a massive dragon. We start up the chapter in Big Steam Castle, and Sanji carries Nami and jumps down from the castle with Zoro, Luffy, and Usopp, and they arrive to the land below, and we can see that the entire kingdom is made of Lego pieces, with a huge Yggdrasil tree in the middle, the tree of life. Zoro explains that he woke up on the other side of the town, and he followed the noise to find Luffy defeating a giant rabbit. And Luffy responds saying that Usopp he should be able to defeat that lion on his own, and Usopp replies he was in panic since he woke up while being eaten by the cat. This almost saves us for Usopp's redemption in Elbaf. If he woke up in the cat while being eaten, maybe that's why he didn't defeat it. We need that Usopp arc. Usopp says that the kingdom is not Elbaf since the giant warrior outfits are normal size, so the Straw Hat crew decides to go to the giant town to ask people what's happening. On the way to town, they encounter a normal-sized bearded guy wearing a giant outfit riding a giant grasshopper. I'm kind of thinking that some big giant is controlling this place, if I had to guess. Bearded guy says, "Oh, you guys are new here, right? This is a land of the gods." The bearded guy explains that this is the country ruled by gods, the ear god, the spike god, and the Isk cat, the cat that rules the castle. And the bearded guy says recently there's also the incident of ear god that being burned to death outside the town. And Luffy yells, my bad, and Usopp covers Luffy's mouth before Luffy talks too much, because we know from the previous chapter that Luffy actually ate these rabbits. So while Zoro, Nami, Sanji are whistling and looking the other way to hide that they killed the rabbit, the bearded guy says if you're hungry you can just come by to get some rations, but you can't go to the other side of the castle. Luffy's confused by this and he answers, huh? Why? The bearded guy responds, the sun god's temple is there and it's guarded by ferocious guardians. No one has ever approached the temple and returned to tell the tale. Nami responds, wait, don't phrase it like that or he will. And Luffy starts to think. I'm wondering if this sun god that they're talking about is an actual strong character or if it's at like a comedic effect. We'll have to see once the actual panels come out in this chapter. When Luffy hears the bearded guy's words, his face changes in a very funny facial expression, and he runs right to the sun god's temple. And Zoro also runs after him when he finds out there's guardian beasts. Sanji scolds Zoro for always going with Luffy's flow. As Luffy is running, he wonders why the road seems so long and the entire kingdom looks so wide. But suddenly he hits something invisible and breaks it. It is revealed to be a giant mirror. The sky and the wide scenery, they're all mirror reflections. The people in Lego Town are shocked to see the sky crack above them. Luffy crosses the mirror and falls to the floor. It's kind of weird that this is the first time that someone has broken in, and why did whoever captured the Straw Hat to do this? After the mirror is broken, it's revealed that the entire Lego kingdom is a model placed in a giant's room. The diorama is inside a huge cage covered with glass. From inside the glasses are mirrors, but from outside they look like a fish tank. The cage takes up a large part of the room, and the front part of the cage has a huge grill with a door. It's the size for a giant. In the room, there are some furniture too, like a giant wood table, and on top of the table, there are fabrics, threads, and a giant sewing machine. We can see a lot of Lego pieces dispersed on the floor of the room. The Straw Hat crew is in shock. I'm kind of wondering how Oda got the permission to use Legos in One Piece. I feel like there's some copyright stuff going on with that behind the scenes, but I'm happy about it. Nami says, what is going on? Sanji responds, if there's giants living on this side, it would be as if we're being some pets, given an elaborate cage. Nami says, that can't be. And then a mysterious person says, hey, what was that noise? Are you on my side? Help me. Nami's confused. The mysterious voice is Chopper, the one we've been waiting for. He's captive outside the cage in the giant wood table, and Zoro releases him, and Chopper, crying, hugs Nami. Chopper starts to cry. Everyone, I'm so glad you guys found me. Nami responds, Chopper, you poor thing, it's alright now. Chopper responds, my collar was so hard I couldn't get it off. I really thought this was the end for me. So whoever captured the Straw Hats assumed that Chopper was their pet. Once again, all the bounty prices, they all think that Chopper is the pet. I wonder when this is actually going to end and they find out that he's actually pretty powerful. Nami says, now you owe me one, and Chopper's confused. And Usopp says, Nami, you were crying yourself not so long ago. Usopp and Zoro examine all the stuff on the table. Luffy does the same in the floor. Zoro says, a room built for giants, but with human-sized clothing. I suppose it's like changing clothes for dolls, huh? Usopp says, makes me wonder if the sun god is a really delicate person. And Luffy responds, this room is full of that blocks. And it's kind of weird that the Straw Hat crew still doesn't know that Luffy is sun god Nika. I wonder when they'll find it out, and when Luffy finds that out, that will most likely be his final power-up, his Gear 6. Because I don't see any other way he can keep progressing this Devil Fruit unless the mythical zone, the Gear 5, is the middle transformation and there's a final transformation. That's what I'm kind of thinking right now. Or if he eats the Mother Flame, which that's long gone. It might be with the Punk Records right now that flew away, so we might see more of that. Zoro says, a room built for giants with human-sized clothing. I suppose it's like changing clothes for dolls, huh? Sanji says, yeah, this land is full of them. The reason the smell was unbearable when we roasted the rabbit was due to all the synthetic resin burning with it. The Straw Hat crew look around and Sanji assumes that the giant room is a sun god's temple. Zoro says people in costumes that live in Diorama Town are like pets for sun god to observe them via the glass. Suddenly, two giant animals appear in the giant room. A giant snake, which is based off the world's serpent in Norse mythology, and a giant raven with a skull on its head, which is a mix of the Munin and Hugin, Odin's raven in Norse mythology, and Luffy and the others fight against them, wrecking stuff of the room and making the room catch fire. Cutting the outside of the room, we see that Sun God is walking down a corridor down the room. Room door has a Z symbol. Sun God is far larger than any normal giant we saw so far, except Oars, but we can't see yet if Sun God is a man or a woman. Sun God is a slim giant that wears a black long tunic and a deer skull that covers his or her face. And Sun God has a staff and a shield with a sun symbol. Sun God notices the smoke and the noise that are coming from the room. So he enters the room and is so shocked to see Luffy destroying it while they're fighting the animals. Luffy is using Gear 5, which is great, and laughing in the middle of the fire that is burning in the room. Then he uses Gummo Gummo no Dawn Pistol to defeat the giant snake. On the other hand, Zoro defeats the giant crow. Straw Crew enters into the diorama to evade Sun God, and they encounter again the giant cat they defeated in the castle. The cat is very angry, but they hit his head and get on it while Nami shows him a map she found. I don't know how she found a map. I don't know when that happened, but we're just gonna go with it. And Chopper says, that cat said, I will remember this. Nami says, okay, but more importantly, look, we didn't get what we were looking for, but we did get the blueprint of this land of blocks. Sanji responds, in other words, a map? Zoro yells, he's coming. And in the amazing final double spread of this chapter, we see Straw Hat Crew riding the cat through the diorama town with Sun God chasing them. Town people are in shock when they see the enraged Sun God. Sun God yells, how dare you? Nami responds, guys, get ready. If we run in a straight line, there's another mirror ahead. If we destroy it along with the wall, we will be outside. Luffy responds, yes, let's get out of here. The town people are very confused. They say, what? The Sun God is furious. And Sun God yells, you won't get away. This is a kind of confusing chapter because at one point they're talking about the Straw Hat Crew being outside of this diorama and somehow they're back in it and they're trying to escape once again. We'll see more once the actual panels come out. I'm ready for that. But overall, this was a nice chapter, but it kind of felt like filler, to be honest. I assumed that the closer we got to the end game, it would be more hype chapters, but I didn't think there was going to be a filler-like chapter like this. The last two chapters, to be honest, just focusing on the Straw Hats. But honestly, this could be like the last time where we get a chapter like this, because soon we're going to be figuring out where the other Straw Hats are. And this theory that I've been seeing online circulating around One Piece is that Elbaf in Norse mythology has 9 islands. And as you know, there are 9 Straw Hats right now. And the arcs are mirroring each other right now, from Egghead to Saboti, and all of them following. Since Ace was captured after Saboti Archipelago, and Garp was captured after Egghead. I can see a final war happening on Egghead, I can see a final war happening on Elbaf, or somewhere else, but I mainly see Elbaf as a training ground for the Straw Hats. Since there's 9 islands, as I said before, each Straw Hat will go to the island that fits them the best, and they will train. Such as Luffy will go to the island of the gods, Zoro will go to the island of the demons, all of that. They'll get trained. I don't think Sun God is an actual evil character. I think he's like some random dumb giant, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm waiting for Loki. Maybe that could be Loki. I don't think it is, and I do not think it's that silhouetted figure we saw that was waiting for them at Elbaf. So right now, let's start at Elbaf. It's not that good, I'm gonna be honest. But since the chapters are only like 20 pages long, we're not getting that much of Elbaf. We're 40 pages into Elbaf, to be honest. I'm just trying to get used to the change of going from all these chapters around, go from each place around the world in One Piece, like going to what Blackbeard is doing, going to what Shanks is doing. It was like a post-arc, if you know what I'm saying. We're focusing in on the 5 first Straw Hats. It's just kind of a change. I hope Oda doesn't fumble this, the Elbaf arc we've been waiting years for, but I don't think he is. We're getting the final endgame, and I'm ready. Hope you guys are too. Tune in for the next chapter recap.